Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on February 5, 1985, on the small Portuguese island of Madeira. At the time, nobody in that modest town of Funchal could have imagined that this little boy would grow into one of the most recognized and celebrated athletes the world has ever known. His name would echo in stadiums across the globe, chanted by millions, feared by defenders, and respected even by rivals. But before he became Cristiano Ronaldo, the icon, he was simply Cristiano, the youngest child of a struggling family, living in a small house that barely held together under the weight of life's difficulties. Cristiano's father, José Diniz Aveiro, worked as a kit man at a local football club. It was not a glamorous job, but it was enough to put food on the table. His mother, Maria Dolores dos Santos, worked as a cook and cleaner, taking every opportunity to provide for her children. Cristiano had 3 older siblings, Hugo, Elma, and Katja. Together, the family lived in poverty, sharing meals, clothes, and dreams. Life on Madeira was not easy. The streets were narrow, the houses were simple, and money was always short. But for young Cristiano, the football was enough. He did not need much else. From the moment he could walk, he was already chasing after balls. He kicked them in the street, in the garden, and even inside the house when his mother was not watching. To him, football was not a game. It was an escape. It was joy. It was hope. As a boy, Cristiano often played barefoot with friends, using whatever they could find as a ball. Sometimes it was an old tennis ball. Other times it was a rolled-up sock. It did not matter. What mattered was the feeling of running free, the sound of laughter, and the dream that maybe, one day, football could be something more than just a pastime. Cristiano's father, despite his struggles with alcohol, loved football. He would take his youngest son with him to the local club where he worked, Andorina. Cristiano would watch the players with wide eyes, studying every move, every pass, and every shot. Soon, he was begging to join. At just 8 years old, Cristiano officially became a part of Andorina. His father proudly cleaned the kits, while his son played on the pitch with a fire that could not be ignored. From the very beginning, Cristiano stood out. He was smaller than most of the boys, but he was quicker, sharper, and hungrier. He would run for every ball, fight for every chance, and never accept defeat. His coaches could see something different in him. He was not just another boy kicking a ball. He was a boy possessed by a dream. At home, life was still tough. His family did not have the luxuries others enjoyed. Cristiano shared a small room with his siblings. Many nights, he fell asleep hungry, his stomach empty, but his mind full of goals and victories. These struggles only made him more determined. He often said later in life that those moments of poverty shaped his hunger, both on and off the pitch. By the time Cristiano was 10 years old, he was already considered the best player on the island. People began to whisper about this boy who could dribble past anyone, who could score from anywhere, who seemed destined for something bigger. Local clubs wanted him, but his family knew he needed more than Madeira could offer. At 12 years old, Cristiano made the biggest move of his young life. He left his island, his home, and his family to travel to mainland Portugal, where he joined the Academy of Sporting CP in Lisbon. It was a moment of both triumph and heartbreak. For a boy so young, the excitement of chasing his dream was mixed with the pain of leaving behind his loved ones. In Lisbon, Cristiano faced challenges that tested his spirit. He lived far away from his parents, in a new city, surrounded by boys who were older, bigger, and stronger. Many times, he cried at night, missing his family, feeling lonely, and wondering if he had made the right choice. But every morning, he woke up with a renewed determination. He was not going to give up. He was not going to let the sacrifice be wasted. Cristiano's mother, Maria, would later admit that it was one of the hardest decisions she ever made, letting her youngest son go at such a young age. But she believed in him. She knew he was special. She knew that football was not just his dream. It was his destiny. In Lisbon, Cristiano trained harder than anyone. He pushed his body, his mind, and his heart to the limit. He spent hours perfecting his skills, practicing his speed, and sharpening his shots. His teammates often joked that he was obsessed. But behind the jokes was a deep respect. They could see his talent, and they could feel his ambition. At 15, however, tragedy nearly struck. Doctors discovered that Cristiano had a heart condition, one that could have ended his career before it even began. For a brief moment, the dream seemed to be slipping away. But Cristiano refused to accept defeat. He underwent successful surgery, recovered quickly, and returned to training as if nothing had happened. In fact, he came back stronger, more determined, and more focused. That same determination would become the hallmark of his entire career. By the time Cristiano was 16, Sporting CP knew they had a star on their hands. His speed, skill, and confidence were unmatched. He quickly rose through the youth ranks, making his debut for the senior team in 2002. The boy from Madeira was no longer just a dreamer. He was now a professional footballer, standing on the edge of greatness. When Cristiano Ronaldo arrived at Sporting CP's academy in Lisbon, he was just a boy from Madeira with nothing but a dream and extraordinary determination. By the early 2000s, however, he was no longer just another academy player. He was turning into one of the brightest young talents Portugal had ever seen. His combination of speed, agility, and technical skill was unlike anything coaches had witnessed at his age. He played as if he were born for the big stage, even though he was still a teenager. At Sporting's academy, Ronaldo trained relentlessly. He would spend extra hours in the gym, working on his strength. He would stay behind after team practice to perfect his free kicks and long shots. He would sprint endlessly, determined to be faster than everyone else. His obsession with improvement was not always understood by his peers, but it was respected. Even at such a young age, Cristiano had already developed the work ethic that would carry him throughout his career. In 2002, Cristiano made his debut for Sporting CP's senior team. He was only 17 years old. The world outside Portugal knew very little about him, but within the country, whispers began to grow louder. Sporting fans could sense that this boy was special. His debut performance was full of energy, courage, and flair. He attacked defenders with no fear, always demanding the ball, always pushing forward. But it was a match in 2003 that changed his life forever. Sporting CP faced Manchester United in a friendly game to inaugurate the new Estadio José Alvalade in Lisbon. Ronaldo played that night like a man possessed. He was unstoppable. With his dazzling footwork, lightning speed, and fearless dribbling, he tore Manchester United's defense apart. United's players were stunned, struggling to keep up with the young winger who seemed to glide across the pitch. After the match, Manchester United's players went straight to Sir Alex Ferguson, their legendary manager. They urged him to sign the boy immediately. "This kid is incredible," they told him. Ferguson had seen enough with his own eyes. He knew that Cristiano Ronaldo was a talent too rare to ignore. Soon after, in the summer of 2003, Cristiano Ronaldo signed with Manchester United for £12.24 million, making him the most expensive teenager in football history at that time. He was just 18 years old, moving to England, leaving behind his country, his family, and everything familiar. It was another leap into the unknown. Arriving in Manchester, Cristiano was greeted with excitement but also skepticism. Some doubted whether the young Portuguese winger could adapt to the physicality and speed of English football. Others dismissed him as a showboater who cared more about flashy tricks than substance. But Cristiano did not come to England to prove people wrong with words. He came to prove himself on the pitch. His debut for Manchester United came against Bolton Wanderers in August 2003. Within minutes of coming on as a substitute, Ronaldo electrified Old Trafford. He sprinted down the wing, beat defenders with dazzling skills, and created chance after chance. The fans were in awe. They had just witnessed the beginning of something extraordinary. Still, his first season was not without challenges. Cristiano often frustrated teammates with his insistence on dribbling too much or holding onto the ball for too long. He was criticized by pundits who claimed he was too lightweight for the Premier League. But behind the criticism was a young man learning, adapting, and growing stronger every day. Ronaldo's transformation at Manchester United was fueled by Sir Alex Ferguson. Ferguson became a father figure to Cristiano, guiding him, challenging him, and protecting him when critics were harsh. Ferguson saw not only the talent but also the mentality. He recognized the boy's hunger to improve, and he nurtured it. Under Ferguson's watch, Ronaldo began to transform from a raw talent into a complete footballer. By the 2006-2007 season, Cristiano had turned into one of the best players in the Premier League. He developed his body, built muscle, and added power to his game. He was no longer just a skillful winger. He was now a goal scorer, a creator, and a leader on the pitch. That season, he helped United win the Premier League title, contributing with goals, assists, and unforgettable performances. The following year, 2007-2008, was the season that catapulted Cristiano Ronaldo into superstardom. He scored 42 goals in all competitions, leading Manchester United to both the Premier League and the Champions League titles. In the Champions League final against Chelsea, Ronaldo scored a powerful header, further proving his ability to deliver on the biggest stage. At the end of that year, he was awarded the Ballon d'Or, his first of many, cementing his place among the best players in the world. Ronaldo's time at Manchester United was a journey of transformation. He arrived as a skinny teenager full of tricks. He left as a global superstar, a complete athlete, and one of the most dangerous players football had ever seen. He won 3 Premier League titles, 1 FA Cup, 2 League Cups, the Champions League, and the FIFA Club World Cup. But Cristiano was never satisfied with what he had. He always wanted more. He wanted to test himself against the very best, to break more records, and to push beyond all limits. By 2009, his dream was calling from Spain. Real Madrid was ready to make him the centerpiece of their new era, and Cristiano Ronaldo was ready to take his career to the next level. In summer of 2009, the football world stopped watching a single transfer. Cristiano Ronaldo, the boy from Madeira who had conquered Manchester, was moving to Spain. Real Madrid paid a world record fee of €94 million to bring him to the Santiago Bernabeu. It was a number that stunned fans and critics alike. At the time, many wondered, could any player be worth so much? Could Cristiano handle the weight of the most demanding club in the world? Could he become more than a star? Could he become a legend? Cristiano himself never doubted. For him, this was the opportunity he had been dreaming of. He wanted to prove himself on the biggest stage, under the brightest lights, wearing the famous white shirt of Real Madrid. He knew the expectations were enormous. He knew that every touch, every miss, and every goal would be judged by millions. And he was ready. From the moment he stepped onto the pitch at his presentation, the signs of what was to come were clear. 80,000 fans filled the Santiago Bernabeu to welcome him. They screamed his name, waved banners, and treated him not like a new signing, but like a king returning home. Cristiano felt the pressure, but he also felt the energy. This was where he was meant to be. His early days in Madrid were filled with excitement. He scored goals immediately, showing the fans and the critics that he was not overwhelmed. But Real Madrid was a club in transition. They were rebuilding to match the dominance of the greatest rivals, Barcelona, and the greatest challenge came in the form of another superstar, Lionel Messi. The rivalry between Ronaldo and Messi defined an entire era of football. Two of the greatest players in history, playing in the same league, For the two biggest clubs in the world, competing for every title, every record, and every Ballon d'Or. Every weekend, the world would tune in to see who would shine brighter. For a decade, their rivalry pushed football to heights it had never seen before. Ronaldo's first major trophy with Real Madrid came in 2011, when he scored the winning goal in the Copa del Rey final against Barcelona. It was a towering header, struck with power and precision, a symbol of his determination to deliver on the biggest stage. But he wanted more than domestic cups. He wanted to bring Real Madrid back to European glory. In the 2011-2012 season, Ronaldo and Madrid broke records in La Liga. The team scored 121 goals, and Ronaldo himself netted 46 league goals, leading them to the league title. It was a clear message: Real Madrid was back, and Cristiano was leading the charge. But his true destiny with Madrid was in the Champions League. For years, Madrid had chased the 10th European Cup, La Decima. The club lived for Champions League nights, and the fans demanded it. Ronaldo embraced the challenge. He scored goals relentlessly, season after season, breaking records that had stood for decades. He became the fastest player in Real Madrid history to score 100 goals. He broke the record for most goals in a single Champions League season, scoring 17 in the 2013-2014 campaign. And in May 2014, the dream was finally realized. Real Madrid faced Atletico Madrid in the Champions League final in Lisbon. The game was tense, dramatic, and unforgettable. With Madrid trailing late in the match, Sergio Ramos scored a header to equalize. In extra time, Madrid exploded, and Cristiano sealed the victory with a powerful penalty. Real Madrid had finally won La Decima, their 10th European Cup, and Cristiano was at the heart of it. The image of him ripping off his shirt and flexing in front of the fans became one of the most iconic moments in football history. That victory was not the end. It was the beginning of a dynasty. Under coach Zinedine Zidane, Cristiano and Madrid went on to dominate Europe. Between 2016 and 2018, they won 3 consecutive Champions League titles, something no team had done in the modern era. Ronaldo was the top scorer in each campaign, delivering crucial goals in the quarterfinals, semi-finals, and finals. In the 2017 final against Juventus, Ronaldo scored twice, proving once again that he was the man for the big occasions. In the 2018 quarterfinal against the same Juventus, he produced one of the greatest goals in Champions League history. A bicycle kick, executed with perfection, that left the entire stadium applauding, including Juventus fans. It was a moment that defined his genius, a goal that captured his athleticism, timing, and skill in one breathtaking strike. By the time he left Real Madrid in 2018, Cristiano had become the club's all-time top scorer with 450 goals in just 438 games. He had won 4 Champions League titles, 2 La Liga titles, 2 Copa del Reys, 3 UEFA Super Cups, and 3 FIFA Club World Cups. He had also won 4 Ballon d'Ors during his time in Spain, cementing his place among the greatest of all time. But perhaps more than the trophies and records, what defined Cristiano at Real Madrid was his relentless pursuit of greatness. He trained harder than anyone. He demanded the best from himself and from those around him. He played every game as if it were a final. And he delivered, time and time again. When he finally announced his departure in July 2018, Madrid fans wept. They knew an era had ended. But they also knew they had witnessed something unforgettable. For 9 years, Cristiano Ronaldo had worn the white shirt, and in those 9 years, he had become more than a player. He had become a legend. For Cristiano Ronaldo, club success was never enough. He had conquered England with Manchester United, he had conquered Spain with Real Madrid, but there was always one dream that went beyond clubs, contracts, or records. He wanted to win for Portugal. He wanted to bring glory to his country, a nation that loved football but had never tasted a major international trophy. Ronaldo's journey with the Portuguese national team began in 2003. At just 18 years old, he was called up to represent his country. On his debut, he showed the same determination and fire that fans would come to expect for years to come. He was young, fearless, and full of energy, but the weight of the national team was heavy. Portugal's golden generation, led by Luís Figo, Rui Costa, and Deco, was coming to an end, and Cristiano was seen as the future. In 2004, just a year after his debut, Cristiano experienced his first taste of heartbreak on the international stage. Portugal hosted the European Championship, and the country believed it was their time. Ronaldo, still only 19, played a vital role in the tournament. He scored against Greece in the group stage and against the Netherlands in the semi-final, helping Portugal reach their first ever European final. But the final was a nightmare. Against all odds, Greece defeated Portugal 1-0. Ronaldo, standing on the pitch with tears streaming down his face, captured the pain of an entire nation. It was a moment of heartbreak, but also a moment of birth. The boy had become a man. That day, Cristiano promised himself that he would one day bring a trophy to Portugal. Over the next decade, Ronaldo carried the national team on his shoulders. At the 2006 World Cup in Germany, he helped Portugal reach the semi-finals, where they lost to France. In 2008 and 2012, Portugal again reached the later stages of the European Championships but fell short. At the 2010 and 2014 World Cups, they were eliminated early, leaving fans disappointed. Time and time again, Ronaldo faced criticism. Some said he could not deliver for his country the way he did for his clubs. Others doubted Portugal's ability to compete against giants like Spain, Germany, or Brazil. But Cristiano never gave up. Every time he wore the Portuguese shirt, he gave everything. He shouted, he fought, he cried, and he was inspired. His passion for his country was unmatched. He knew that Portugal was not always the strongest team, but he also knew that belief and determination could achieve miracles. That miracle came in 2016. The European Championship in France was Ronaldo's chance to fulfill his promise. Portugal was not among the favourites, but they fought through every stage. Ronaldo scored twice against Hungary in the group stage, becoming the first player to score in 4 different European Championships. His leadership carried Portugal through tough matches, including a dramatic win over Croatia in the round of 16. In the semi-final against Wales, Ronaldo produced one of his most memorable performances in a Portugal shirt. He scored a towering header, rising above defenders with incredible power, and then provided an assist for the second goal. Portugal won 2-0, and for the first time since 2004, Ronaldo was back in the European final. The final, however, brought both heartbreak and triumph. Facing France in Paris, Portugal started the match nervously. Early in the game, disaster struck. Ronaldo was injured after a heavy challenge. Despite trying to continue, he collapsed in tears, unable to play on. He was stretchered off the field, devastated, knowing he could not fight for his team on the pitch. But Cristiano Ronaldo is not just a player. He is a leader. Even after leaving the pitch, he refused to give up. From the sidelines, he shouted instructions, encouraged his teammates, and acted as if he were a coach alongside Fernando Santos. His presence inspired Portugal to fight harder. The game went into extra time, and in the 109th minute, substitute Eder scored a stunning long-range goal to give Portugal the lead. When the final whistle blew, Portugal were European champions for the first time in history. Ronaldo, with tears of joy, lifted the trophy that had eluded his country for so long. The boy who cried in 2004 was now the captain who fulfilled his promise in 2016. It was not the end of Ronaldo's international story. In 2019, Portugal won the inaugural UEFA Nations League, with Ronaldo once again playing a key role. In the semi-final against Switzerland, he scored a hat-trick, proving that even in his 30th, he was still capable of delivering magic. By 2021, Ronaldo became the all-time top scorer in international football, surpassing Ali Di's record of 109 goals. This achievement was not just about numbers. It was about consistency, longevity, and an unshakable love for his country. Throughout his international career, Ronaldo has carried Portugal through highs and lows. He has faced criticism, injuries, and disappointment, but he has also brought joy, pride, and glory. For Portugal, he is more than just a player. He is a symbol of belief, a symbol of resilience, a symbol of what is possible when you refuse to give up. For Cristiano Ronaldo, lifting that trophy in 2016 was one of the greatest moments of his life. It was proof that dreams, no matter how far away they may seem, can be realized through dedication and faith. He had given everything for Portugal, and Portugal had finally given him something back, eternal glory. By the summer of 2018, Cristiano Ronaldo had given everything to Real Madrid. 9 years, 4 Champions League trophies, countless records, and unforgettable memories. He had become the club's all-time leading scorer, a legend whose name would forever be tied to the white shirt of Madrid. But Cristiano is not a man who lives in the past. He is a man who constantly seeks new challenges, new mountains to climb, and new history to write. That desire for a new chapter brought him to Italy. In July 2018, Juventus announced the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo for €100 million. At 33 years old, many thought his best years were behind him. Critics questioned whether he could succeed in Serie A league known for its tactical discipline and defensive strength. But Cristiano had heard those doubts before. He had heard them when he was a teenager at Manchester United. He had heard them when he first arrived in Spain. Each time, he proved people wrong. Italy would be no different. When he arrived in Turin, the excitement was unlike anything Serie A had seen in decades. Fans filled the Allianz Stadium to welcome their new superstar. Juventus, already the dominant force in Italy, believed that Ronaldo was the missing piece, the man who could finally deliver the Champions League trophy that had eluded them since 1996. Cristiano adapted to life in Italy quickly. In his first season, he scored 21 league goals and helped Juventus secure yet another Serie A title. His physical conditioning amazed everyone. Even at 33, his speed, strength, and stamina were at levels most players could only dream of. In the Champions League, he showed once again why he was built for the biggest nights. In March 2019, Juventus faced Atletico Madrid in the round of 16. After losing the first leg 2-0, many believed Juve's campaign was over. But in the return leg in Turin, Ronaldo produced one of the greatest performances of his career. He scored a hat-trick, each goal filled with power and precision, single-handedly dragging Juventus into the quarter-finals. The stadium erupted, and Ronaldo reminded the world why he was called Mr. Champions League. Though Juventus did not win the Champions League during Ronaldo's time, he consistently delivered at the highest level. He finished as the club's top scorer in every season he played there. In his 3 years, he scored 101 goals in 134 appearances, a record that showed his consistency and professionalism. In Serie A, Ronaldo continued to break records. In the 2019-2020 season, he became the first Juventus player in 60 years to score in 11 consecutive league matches. He reached 50 goals in fewer games than any player in the history of the league. By 2021, he had scored his 100th goal for the club, joining an elite list of players who achieved that milestone across 3 different clubs. But Ronaldo's time in Italy was not just about statistics. It was about proving a point. Many players slowed down as they reached their mid-30th. Cristiano refused to. He maintained his world-class standards, trained with the same intensity as ever, and inspired younger players with his example. Yet, his time at Juventus was not without frustration. Despite his brilliance, the Champions League remained out of reach. Juventus fell short year after year, and critics once again began to question him. But Cristiano never measured his worth by critics' words. He measured it by the effort he gave, and he knew he had given everything. By the summer of 2021, it was time for another change. Ronaldo decided to leave Juventus, bringing an end to his Italian chapter. For him, Turin was not a failure. It was another chapter of growth, another arena where he proved that age was just a number, and another reminder that Cristiano Ronaldo does not fear challenges. He embraces them. For Juventus fans, he left behind unforgettable memories: the hat-trick against Atletico, the goals, the titles, and the professionalism that set the standard for everyone around him. For Italy, he brought back global attention to Serie A, reminding the world of its greatness. As he walked away from Juventus in August 2021, one thing was clear: Cristiano Ronaldo was still hungry. And his next destination was one that carried both nostalgia and unfinished business: Manchester United.
In summer 2021, Cristiano Ronaldo's time at Juventus had come to an end. He had scored over 100 goals in Italy, won league titles, and proven once again that age could not stop him. But inside, he felt restless. At 36 years old, many would have slowed down, but Cristiano was not finished. He wanted one more chapter in Europe. He wanted to keep playing at the highest level. As the transfer window approached its close, rumors filled the football world. Manchester City seemed ready to sign him. The idea of Ronaldo in blue shocked United fans, who could not imagine their hero wearing the shirt of their rivals. But football has a way of writing its own stories. In late August 2021, a phone call changed everything. Sir Alex Ferguson, the man who had shaped Ronaldo's career, spoke to him. Ferguson reminded him of where he belonged. Within hours, the deal was done. Cristiano Ronaldo was coming home. When the announcement was made, the football world erupted. Manchester United's official website crashed under the weight of fans trying to confirm the news. Old Trafford was buzzing with anticipation. For many supporters, it felt like a dream. The boy who had left as a superstar in 2009 was returning as a legend in 2021. Ronaldo's second debut came on September 11, 2021, against Newcastle United. The atmosphere inside Old Trafford was electric. Every fan wore his name, every voice sang his song. And Cristiano, as he had done so many times before, delivered. He scored twice, sending the crowd into euphoria. It was as if time had stood still. The king had returned, and the theater of dreams was alive again. But football is not only about fairy tales. It is also about reality. While Ronaldo continued to score goals, Manchester United struggled as a team. The club was going through a difficult transition, with managerial changes and inconsistency on the pitch. Ronaldo's presence brought goals and inspiration, but it also highlighted deeper issues within the squad. Still, Cristiano did everything he could to carry the team. In the Champions League, he produced magic that only he could create. Against Villarreal, he scored a late winner in stoppage time. Against Atalanta, he scored twice to rescue United. In the return leg in Italy, he struck again with a stunning volley to secure a draw. Time after time, he kept United alive, proving that even at 36, he was still one of the most decisive players in the world. By the end of the 2021-2022 season, Ronaldo had scored 24 goals in all competitions, including 18 in the Premier League. He finished as United's top scorer, showing the world that he remained a force to be feared. Yet, the team finished sixth in the league, failing to qualify for the Champions League. For a player like Cristiano, who lived for the biggest stage, it was a bitter disappointment. Off the pitch, his influence was undeniable. Younger players watched how he trained, how he prepared, and how he lived with discipline. His return reminded everyone of the standards required at the top. But it also brought challenges. Some critics argued that his presence disrupted the balance of the team. Others said his expectations were too high for a squad still learning to rebuild. As the 2022-2023 season began, tension grew. Under new manager Erik ten Hag, Ronaldo found himself on the bench more often. For a man who had built his career on being indispensable, it was a difficult situation. He wanted to play every game, to fight every battle, but the club's direction was changing. The breaking point came in November 2022. In a highly publicized interview, Ronaldo spoke openly about his frustrations with Manchester United. He criticized the club's management, the lack of progress, and the treatment he felt he received. The interview shocked the football world. For many fans, it was painful to see the relationship between their hero and the club unravel in such a way. Days later, Manchester United announced that Ronaldo had left the club by mutual agreement. His second spell at Old Trafford had come to an end, not with the glory fans had hoped for, but with tension and controversy. Yet, even in disappointment, Cristiano Ronaldo's return to Manchester United was unforgettable. He gave fans moments of joy, magical goals, and a reminder of what greatness looks like. He showed that at any age, passion and dedication can still inspire. For Ronaldo himself, the return was personal. Old Trafford had been the place where he became a superstar. Coming back allowed him to close the chapter, even if it ended differently than expected. He left with pride, knowing he had given everything once again. But Cristiano's story was not over. Just weeks later, a new adventure awaited him, one that would take him to a new continent, a new league, and a new stage to inspire millions more. His next stop, Saudi Arabia. Cristiano Ronaldo has always been a man of firsts. The first to push his body beyond normal limits. The first to redefine what it means to be a professional footballer. The first to carry an unshakable belief that he could conquer any challenge, no matter where it came from. And in December 2022, at 37 years old, he once again shocked the world. After leaving Manchester United, the question was clear: where would Ronaldo go next? Europe's top leagues had been his kingdom for nearly 2 decades. He had ruled in England, Spain, and Italy. He had scored in every major competition, lifted every trophy, and broken almost every record. Many thought he would retire, closing his career quietly. But Cristiano is not built for quiet endings. He does not fade away. He rises. On December 30, 2022, Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr announced the signing of Cristiano Ronaldo. The football world froze. The news was bigger than sport. Here was the most famous athlete on the planet moving to a league few had paid attention to before. It was more than a transfer. It was a statement. When he landed in Riyadh, thousands of fans filled the airport, waving flags and chanting his name. His presentation at Al Nassr's stadium looked like a festival. Fireworks lit the night sky. Ronaldo walked out in the yellow and blue jersey, holding it high, smiling at the sea of fans who welcomed him as their new hero. He was not just a signing. He was a symbol of ambition. Saudi Arabia wanted to show the world it was serious about football, and Cristiano Ronaldo was the perfect ambassador. His debut came in January 2023. The eyes of the world were on Saudi Arabia. Millions watched live streams, waiting to see if the legend could still deliver. And he did not disappoint. Though it took him a few matches to score, once he started, the goals flowed. In February, against Al Wahda, he scored 4 goals in 1 game, reminding everyone that his hunger was far from finished. But Ronaldo's move was not only about the pitch. It was about transformation. Overnight, Al Nassr became a global name. The Saudi Pro League gained unprecedented attention. Television rights were sold to international networks. Other top players soon followed, inspired by the path Ronaldo had opened. He was not just playing football. He was reshaping the map of the sport. For Ronaldo, the move was also personal. At 37, he knew he could no longer play every game at the intensity of Europe's top leagues. But in Saudi Arabia, he found something different. He found a new challenge: to inspire a region, to grow football in the Middle East, and to continue competing with the same fire that had driven him all his life. He trained with the same discipline he always had. Younger teammates at Al Nassr watched in awe as he arrived early, stayed late, and worked with unmatched focus. His professionalism set a new standard, showing that greatness is built, not given. The goals kept coming. He scored hat tricks, free kicks, and decisive penalties. Every game became an event, every moment a lesson. But beyond the goals, he gave Saudi football something it had never seen before: global respect. Suddenly, fans from Europe, Asia, Africa, and America were watching Al Nassr. Stadiums filled. Social media exploded. Ronaldo's presence turned a national league into a worldwide conversation. Some critics said he had taken the easy way out. But Ronaldo never saw it that way. For him, football was about passion, about inspiring people, about leaving a legacy beyond medals. He had nothing left to prove in Europe. He had already conquered it all. In Saudi Arabia, he was opening doors for the future. By the end of his first season, he had scored 14 league goals in just 16 appearances. In his second season, he continued his dominance, fighting for the Golden Boot and leading Al Nassr in domestic and continental competitions. Even in his late 30s, he remained one of the fittest, sharpest, and most determined players in the game. But perhaps his greatest victory in Saudi Arabia was not measured in goals. It was measured in influence. He showed that football could grow anywhere, that dreams did not belong only to Europe's biggest clubs, and that even at the twilight of a career, a legend could still shine brighter than ever. Cristiano Ronaldo's move to Al Nassr was not the end of his story. It was the beginning of a new chapter, one that carried football into new lands, one that inspired millions who had never believed they could see greatness so close, and one that proved once again that Ronaldo was not just a player. He was a movement. As he continues to play in Saudi Arabia, every touch of the ball, every goal, and every celebration adds to a legacy that has no borders. Cristiano Ronaldo has shown the world that greatness has no final chapter. It only finds new arenas, new fans, and new ways to inspire. Cristiano Ronaldo, football club brought fame, wealth, and endless trophies. But for him, representing Portugal was something deeper. It was not about money or contracts. It was about identity. It was about carrying the hopes of a nation that had never lifted a major international trophy. Every time he wore the red shirt of Portugal, it was more than just a game. It was personal. Ronaldo's journey with Portugal began in 2003. A teenager with dazzling skills and unshakable confidence, he earned his first senior cap against Kazakhstan. At only 18 years old, he was already seen as the future of Portuguese football. That same year, he was included in the squad for Euro 2004, hosted in Portugal. Euro 2004 was a dream and a heartbreak. Ronaldo scored his first international goal against Greece in the group stage. His youthful energy and skill brought excitement to the team. Portugal reached the final, and the nation believed destiny was on their side. But football is cruel. Once again, Greece stood in their way. Against all odds, Greece defeated Portugal 1-0 in the final, silencing the Estadio da Luz. As the final whistle blew, cameras captured a young Ronaldo in tears. It was his first taste of heartbreak with Portugal, but also the moment the world saw his deep love for his country. From that day, he carried Portugal on his shoulders. He became the symbol of hope, the man fans looked when the team needed magic. At the 2006 World Cup in Germany, Ronaldo helped Portugal reach the semi-finals. Though they lost to France, it was their best World Cup finish in 40 years. Once again, Ronaldo left the tournament in tears. Success was close, but not enough. The following years brought more frustration. At Euro 2008, Portugal were knocked out by Germany in the quarter-finals. In the 2010 World Cup, they fell to Spain, the eventual champions. And in Euro 2012, they reached the semi-finals but lost on penalties to Spain again. Ronaldo, who had scored crucial goals along the way, watched as Portugal's dream slipped away. Critics began to say that Ronaldo would never win anything with Portugal. They said he was a club legend but would fail to deliver internationally. But Cristiano never gave up. He wore the captain's armband with pride, leading with passion, shouting encouragement, and showing his teammates what belief looked like. And then came Euro 2016. Portugal entered the tournament in France without being considered favorites. They struggled in the group stage, drawing all 3 matches and only qualifying as one of the best third-placed teams. But Ronaldo kept pushing. In the group game against Hungary, with Portugal on the verge of elimination, he scored twice, including a stunning backheel goal, to keep them alive. In the knockout rounds, Portugal grew stronger. Against Croatia, they won in extra time. Against Poland, they advanced on penalties. In the semi-final against Wales, Ronaldo rose to the occasion. He scored a towering header, his leap defying gravity, and inspired Portugal to a 2-0 victory. Portugal was in the final. The final was against France, the host nation, in the Stade de France. The pressure was enormous. Early in the match, disaster struck. Ronaldo collided with Dimitri Payet and injured his knee. He tried to continue, but after 25 minutes, he collapsed in pain. Tears streamed down his face as he was carried off the field. It looked like his dream was over. But even from the sidelines, Ronaldo refused to give up. With his knee wrapped, he stood on the touchline, shouting instructions, urging his teammates forward like a second coach. The game dragged into extra time, and in the 109th minute, Eder struck a long-range goal that silenced France. Portugal held on. When the final whistle blew, history was made. Portugal were champions of Europe for the first time. Ronaldo, though injured, lifted the trophy with tears in his eyes. He had delivered what no one thought possible. He had fulfilled a lifelong dream not for himself, but for his country. That night in Paris, he became more than a captain. He became a national hero. 2 years later, Ronaldo led Portugal to more glory. In 2019, they won the inaugural UEFA Nations League, defeating the Netherlands in the final. Ronaldo had scored a hat-trick in the semi-final against Switzerland, reminding the world that even in his 30th, he was still unstoppable. At the 2018 World Cup, he produced one of his greatest individual performances. Against Spain in the group stage, he scored a hat-trick, including a stunning late free kick to secure a 3-3 draw. The image of Ronaldo standing over the ball, breathing deeply, and delivering in the final moments is one that fans will never forget. By 2021, Ronaldo had broken the record for most international goals in history, surpassing Ali Daei's 109 goals. Every time he scored for Portugal, he added another line to a record that may never be broken. By 2022, he had played in 5 World Cups, another record, showing his incredible longevity. At the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, things did not go as planned. Portugal were eliminated in the quarter-finals by Morocco. Ronaldo, now 37, left the field in tears once again. It was a painful moment, but one that also showed his humanity. Even after decades of glory, he still cared as much as the boy who cried in 2004. For Portugal, Cristiano Ronaldo is more than a player. He is the captain, the leader, the eternal symbol of belief. He has carried them through highs and lows, always with pride, always with passion. His name will forever be tied to the greatest era in Portuguese football. And though the years move forward, and new talents rise, Cristiano Ronaldo remains their captain, their inspiration, and their legend. For Portugal, he is eternal. Cristiano Ronaldo's career is not just about goals and trophies. It is about rewriting what is possible in football. Every time people thought they had reached the limit of human performance, Ronaldo pushed further. He did not just break records. He set new standards. By the time he entered his late 30th, Cristiano Ronaldo had already scored over 800 career goals, more than any player in the history of the sport. He became the first footballer to score in 5 different World Cups. He became the all-time top scorer in the UEFA Champions League, a competition where he built his reputation as Mr. Champions League. He became the top scorer in the history of Real Madrid, with a staggering 450 goals in just 438 games. And for Portugal, he became the highest-scoring international player of all time, surpassing 120 goals and continuing to add more. But his legacy is not measured only in numbers. It is measured in moments. The last-minute free kick against Spain in the 2018 World Cup. The towering header against Wales in Euro 2016. The hat-trick against Atletico Madrid for Juventus in 2019. The countless goals at Old Trafford, the Bernabeu, and stadiums across the world. Each moment etched into memory, each goal a story of its own. Off the pitch, Ronaldo's influence is just as massive. He is not only a footballer. He is a global brand. With millions of followers on social media, he became the most followed athlete in the world, reaching billions of people with a single post. His dedication, fitness, and lifestyle inspired millions to train harder, eat healthier, and believe in discipline. Ronaldo built a business empire as carefully as he built his career. His County Route 7 brand, featuring clothing, footwear, and fragrances, became a symbol of his identity. He invested in hotels, gyms, and technology companies, ensuring that his legacy would live far beyond his playing days. For him, success was not only about what he did on the pitch. It was about creating something lasting, something that would inspire generations. Philanthropy has also been a core part of Ronaldo's journey. Despite his fame and fortune, he has always remembered his humble beginnings in Madeira. Over the years, he donated millions to hospitals, children's charities, and disaster relief efforts. He paid for cancer treatments for fans, supported schools, and gave back quietly without seeking attention. For Ronaldo, true greatness is not only measured in goals but in kindness. His discipline is legendary. Teammates across every club have spoken about how he arrives first at training and leaves last. Even at an age when most players slow down, Ronaldo's body remains a machine. He maintains a strict diet, intense gym routines, and a lifestyle that reflects his commitment to excellence. Young players look at him and see what it takes to stay at the top. But perhaps his greatest legacy is his mentality. Cristiano Ronaldo showed the world that talent alone is not enough. Hard work, discipline, and relentless belief are what create greatness. He turned rejection, criticism, and setbacks into fuel. From the boy who left his island at 12, crying for his family, to the man who conquered every league he entered, his journey became a lesson in perseverance. Around the world, his name carries more than just sporting value. In every corner of the globe, from Africa to Asia to the Americas, children wear his jersey, shout his name, and dream of becoming like him. He gave people hope that no matter where you come from, with enough determination, you can achieve the impossible. Ronaldo's rivalry with Lionel Messi also shaped his legacy. For nearly 2 decades, they pushed each other to higher levels, creating one of the greatest rivalries in sports history. Fans debated endlessly who was greater, but in truth, football itself was the winner. Because of Ronaldo and Messi, a generation witnessed the game played at a level never seen before. Their duels in Spain, their battles in Europe, their records side by side, they became the story of an era. Even as Ronaldo moved into the later stages of his career, his impact did not fade. In Saudi Arabia, in Portugal, and wherever he went, the cameras followed, the stadiums filled, and the world watched. He remained the symbol of greatness, the man who had refused to give up, the player who had built an empire with nothing but a dream and endless work. For Cristiano Ronaldo, legacy is not about one moment. It is about a lifetime of discipline, sacrifice, and passion. It is about inspiring others to rise beyond limits. His records will one day be broken. His goals will be remembered in highlights. But the spirit of Cristiano Ronaldo, the hunger, the resilience, the belief will live forever. He is not just a footballer. He is a global icon. A man who turned himself into a legend. A man who showed the world that greatness is not given. Greatness is earned. For millions around the world, Cristiano Ronaldo is a name that means greatness, goals, and glory. They see the trophies he lifts, the stadiums he fills, and the records he breaks. But behind the spotlight, behind the roar of the crowds, there is a man who has lived a life of sacrifice, discipline, and love. To understand Ronaldo fully, you must look beyond the pitch. Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born into a humble family on the small island of Madeira. His father, José Dinis Aveiro, worked as a kit man at a local football club. His mother, Maria Dolores, worked as a cook and cleaner to support the family. Life was not easy. Money was scarce. Opportunities were limited. But in that environment, Cristiano learned 2 values that shaped his entire life: hard work and resilience. Ronaldo's relationship with his father was meaningful but complicated. His father struggled with alcohol, which affected the family deeply. Cristiano loved him, but he also witnessed the pain it caused. When his father passed away in 2005, Ronaldo was only 20 years old. He was already becoming a star at Manchester United, but he could not share his success with the man who had introduced him to football. That loss left a wound that never truly healed. It also gave him motivation. He wanted to make his father proud in everything he achieved. His mother, Maria Dolores, became his rock. She sacrificed everything to give her children a better life. She encouraged Cristiano to pursue football when others doubted him. To this day, she remains by his side, often seen at his matches, supporting him through every stage of his career. Ronaldo has often said that without his mother, his journey would not have been possible. As Ronaldo's fame grew, so did his responsibilities as a father. In 2010, he welcomed his first son, Cristiano Jr. From the very beginning, he took fatherhood seriously. Cristiano Jr. grew up surrounded by the discipline and passion that defined his father's life. Today, He is already playing football in youth academies, and many wonder if he will one day follow in his father's footsteps. Later, Ronaldo's family grew. With his partner, Georgina Rodriguez, he welcomed more children, twins, Eva and Mateo, and daughters Alana Martina and Bella Esmeralda. For Cristiano, family is everything. In interviews, he often says that his happiest moments are not lifting trophies but spending time with his children. He teaches them discipline, respect, and the values that guided his own journey. Away from football, Ronaldo is known for his strict lifestyle. While many players celebrate with parties and distractions, Cristiano has always chosen a different path. He does not drink alcohol. He avoids unhealthy food. He follows a disciplined routine of training, resting, and recovery. Even in his late 30s, his body remains in peak condition because of the way he lives every day. His teammates often joke that he is built like a machine, but behind that machine is discipline that never wavers. Yet, Ronaldo is not without joy. He enjoys time with his children, vacations with his family, and moments of laughter with his friends. He is known for his generosity, often surprising fans with kind gestures. Stories of him paying for medical treatments, donating blood, and supporting charities quietly show a side of him that many do not see. Despite his fame, Cristiano has always kept a part of himself grounded. He remembers where he came from. He visits Madeira often, walking the same streets where he once played as a boy. A statue of him now stands in his hometown, a symbol of how far he has come, but also a reminder of his roots. Ronaldo's relationship with Georgina Rodriguez has also been a key part of his personal life. She has stood by him through triumphs and challenges, raising their children together and providing him with stability off the pitch. Together, they have built a home filled with love, balance, and shared dreams. For all his wealth and success, Cristiano Ronaldo remains defined not by material possessions but by his values. Discipline, respect, family. These are the pillars of his life. They are what keep him focused, what pushes him to train harder than anyone else, and what gives him strength when challenges come. Behind the legend is a man who has cried, who has suffered, who has loved deeply, and who has risen above pain to inspire others. That is why fans connect with him. Not just because of the goals, but because of the humanity they see in his story. Cristiano Ronaldo is proof that greatness is not only about talent. It is about the choices you make every day. It is about how you treat the people you love. It is about never forgetting where you came from. His life behind the scenes reveals the true foundation of his legend, not only the footballer, but the father, the son, the partner, and the man who never stopped dreaming. In every era of sport, there are rivalries that define generations. In boxing, there was Ali and Frazier. In tennis, there was Federer and Nadal. In basketball, there was Magic and Bird. But in football, the rivalry between Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi stands above them all. For nearly 2 decades, these two men pushed each other to heights the game had never seen before. Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi are very different players. Messi, with his short frame, low center of gravity, and natural dribbling ability, seemed born with a ball at his feet. Ronaldo, taller, stronger, and faster, built his greatness through hard work, discipline, and evolution. One represented raw, natural talent. The other represented the power of dedication and will. Together, they created a story that defined modern football. The rivalry truly began in Spain. In 2009, Ronaldo joined Real Madrid for a world record fee, entering the same league where Messi was already a superstar at Barcelona. La Liga became the stage for their battles, and the world watched every week as these two giants fought for supremacy. Every El Clasico between Real Madrid and Barcelona became more than a football match. It was Ronaldo versus Messi. One moment Messi would dribble past defenders and score a goal that seemed impossible. The next week, Ronaldo would rise above everyone and smash a header into the net. Each man answered the other, refusing to be left behind. Between 2009 and 2018, their rivalry in Spain was unmatched. They scored over 600 goals combined in La Liga. They traded Ballon d'Or trophies year after year, dominating the award for more than a decade. One season Messi would score 91 goals in a calendar year, setting an almost impossible record. The next season, Ronaldo would lead Real Madrid to Champions League glory with unforgettable performances. For fans, the debate became endless. Who was better? Messi, the magician with unmatched dribbling and vision. Or Ronaldo, the warrior who combined power, precision, and determination like no one else. Stadiums, homes, and social media platforms were filled with arguments. Yet, in truth, the rivalry was not about division. It was about inspiration. Ronaldo himself often said that Messi made him a better player. Knowing that Messi was scoring every week, breaking records and winning titles, pushed Ronaldo to train harder, to score more, and to prove that he could match him. Messi, too, admitted that Ronaldo's presence drove him to improve. They were rivals, but in their rivalry, they brought out the best in each other. Their duels in the Champions League, their battles in domestic competitions, and their individual awards became the storyline of an entire era. Fans around the world were blessed to witness it. Week after week, they watched not one, but two of the greatest players of all time, pushing each other to greater heights. When Ronaldo left Spain in 2018 to join Juventus, many feared the rivalry would lose its spark. But the debate continued. Ronaldo dominated in Italy, scoring goals and winning trophies. Messi kept shining at Barcelona. Even when they were in different leagues, the comparison never ended. Every goal, every record, every trophy was measured side by side. In December 2020, they faced each other once again in the Champions League, this time as opponents for Juventus and Barcelona. Ronaldo scored twice from the penalty spot, and Juventus defeated Barcelona 3-0 at the Camp Nou. The embrace between the two at the end of the match showed mutual respect. Behind the competition was admiration, a recognition of how much they had meant to each other's careers. The rivalry extended beyond football. Ronaldo became the most followed person on social media. Messi became the quiet genius. Adored for his humility, Ronaldo built a global business empire. Messi represented loyalty, staying at Barcelona for most of his career. Two men, two paths, both unforgettable. In 2021, Messi won the Copa America with Argentina, ending his long wait for an international trophy. In 2016, Ronaldo had done the same with Portugal at the European Championship. Both captains had lifted silverware for their countries, silencing critics who once said they could not win internationally. And then, in 2022, Messi lifted the World Cup in Qatar. For many, it completed his story. But even then, Ronaldo's legacy remained untouchable. He was still the all-time top scorer in international football, still the king of the Champions League, still the man who had conquered every league he entered. In the end, the rivalry was never about who was greater. It was about what they gave to the game. Together, Ronaldo and Messi made football richer, more exciting, and more beautiful than ever before. They gave fans endless memories, unforgettable matches, and a level of excellence that may never be repeated. For Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi was not an enemy. He was a mirror that reflected how far he could push himself, how high he could climb, and how much more he could give. For Messi, Ronaldo was the same. They were rivals, yes. But above all, they were the guardians of an era. And when history looks back, it will not separate them. It will place their names side by side, forever linked, as two men who defined the game, two legends who rose together, and two champions who gave the world a rivalry for the ages. When people look at Cristiano Ronaldo today, they see the superstar. They see the perfect physique, the sharp jawline, the expensive suits, the private jets, and the luxury cars. But what they often forget is that none of it was given to him. Everything came from discipline. Everything came from sacrifice. Everything came from his mentality. Cristiano Ronaldo was not simply born great. He became great because he refused to accept limits. He decided early in his life that talent was not enough. Talent could open the door, but only hard work, dedication, and discipline could keep him inside. From his teenage years at Sporting Lisbon, Ronaldo stood out for his obsession with improvement. While other young players went out to celebrate after training, he stayed behind to practice free kicks. While others played video games late into the night, he went to bed early to rest. His coaches often said that Cristiano's greatest strength was not his speed or skill, but his hunger to learn and improve. At Manchester United, this obsession became legendary. He was the first to arrive at training and the last to leave. He watched videos of himself to study mistakes. He asked experienced teammates for advice. He worked on his body with a strict fitness routine, adding muscle to withstand the physicality of the Premier League. Cristiano's discipline extended to every detail of his life. His diet is one of the strictest in football. He avoids soft drinks, processed foods, and sweets. His meals are built around lean proteins, vegetables, and whole grains. Water is his constant companion. He often eats 6 smaller meals a day to keep his body fueled, but never indulges in unhealthy cravings. Sleep, too, is part of his training. Instead of one long night's rest, Ronaldo often takes several shorter naps during the day. Science shows that this improves recovery, and Cristiano uses it to maximize his energy. His entire daily routine is built for performance. Every decision is measured. Every action has a purpose. The County Route 7 mentality is about more than physical preparation. It is about mental strength. Ronaldo has faced pressure at the highest level for more than 20 years. Every time he steps onto the pitch, millions of eyes are watching. Every mistake is magnified. Every failure is criticized. Yet he never allows doubt to control him. He uses criticism as fuel. When fans boo him, he does not collapse. He becomes stronger. When pundits say he is finished, he proves them wrong with another record, another goal, another title. His mind is wired not to retreat, but to respond. Discipline is also about sacrifice. Ronaldo gave up a normal childhood to chase his dream. He left his home at 12 years old, lived far from his family, and endured loneliness and hardship. He sacrificed nights out, friendships, and comfort. Even today, he sacrifices the pleasures that many athletes enjoy, all for the pursuit of longevity. The results are undeniable. At an age when most players slow down, Ronaldo is still competing at the highest level. His body fat percentage is lower than many players 10 years younger. His sprinting speed, his jumping power, his endurance, all remain world-class. None of this is luck. It is the result of discipline applied every single day. But perhaps the most powerful part of the County Route 7 mentality is his belief in himself. Ronaldo never doubts his ability. He has full confidence in his preparation, in his work, and in his willpower. This self-belief is not arrogance. It is the foundation of his success. Without it, he could never face the challenges, the failures, and the constant comparisons. Many young players admire Ronaldo for his goals, but his true gift to football is his example of discipline. He proves that greatness is not an accident. It is a choice repeated thousands of times, in training sessions, in diet decisions, in moments of pressure, and in sacrifices made quietly behind the scenes. The County Route 7 mentality can be summarized in 3 words: discipline, dedication, and desire. Discipline to do what others will not. Dedication to stay consistent for decades. Desire to win, to improve, and to keep moving forward even when success is already achieved. This mentality has made Cristiano Ronaldo more than a footballer. It has made him a symbol of hard work. Across the world, young athletes look at him and realize that talent is not enough. If you want to be great, you must live like greatness matters in every detail of your life. And that is the true secret of Cristiano Ronaldo. Not just his speed, not just his goals, not just his records. The real secret is the mentality that shaped them all, the County Route 7 mentality. Cristiano Ronaldo is more than a football player. He is more than the goals, the trophies, and the medals. He is also a brand. A global empire. A name that carries weight not only in stadiums but also in boardrooms, on billboards, and across social media platforms. The journey from a boy in Madeira to one of the wealthiest athletes in history was not accidental. It was carefully built with vision, discipline, and the same drive that shaped his football career. Ronaldo understood early on that his fame was an opportunity. Football would not last forever, but the County Route 7 brand could live beyond the pitch. The County Route 7 brand was born with his shirt number. When he arrived at Manchester United, he wanted the number 28, the same number he wore at Sporting Lisbon. But Sir Alex Ferguson handed him the number 7 shirt, a number with a legendary history at the club, previously worn by George Best, Eric Cantona, and David Beckham. Cristiano accepted the challenge, and over time, County Route 7 became his identity. From that moment, the number 7 was more than a shirt. It became a symbol. It represented excellence, hard work, and ambition. Ronaldo transformed it into a brand recognized worldwide. One of the first major steps in building County Route 7 was his partnership with Nike. In 2003, Ronaldo signed a deal with the sportswear giant. Over the years, he became the face of countless Nike campaigns, from mercurial boots to global advertisements. In 2016, he signed a lifetime contract with Nike, worth over $1 billion. Only a few athletes in history, like Michael Jordan and LeBron James, have reached that level. But Ronaldo did not stop there. He expanded into his own businesses. County Route 7 became a lifestyle brand, covering fashion, fragrance, and accessories. He launched clothing lines, denim collections, and underwear products under the County Route 7 name. His face appeared on magazines, posters, and store shelves around the world. He also entered the hotel industry. In partnership with the Pestana Hotel Group, Ronaldo launched Pestana County Route 7 hotels in Lisbon, Funchal, Madrid, Marrakesh, and New York. These hotels are designed to reflect his style: modern, luxurious, and inspiring. For Ronaldo, this was not just about money. It was about creating a legacy, something that would continue long after his playing days ended. Real estate is another part of his empire. Ronaldo has invested millions in properties across Portugal, Spain, Italy, and beyond. His homes are not just places to live. They are statements of success, built with precision and taste. Ronaldo also invested in gyms. His County Route 7 fitness chain has opened locations around the world, promoting health and discipline values that define his own life. These gyms allow fans to train with the same philosophy that made him great. Then there is social media. Cristiano Ronaldo is the most followed person on Instagram, with hundreds of millions of followers. Every post he makes reaches more people than most television channels. Brands pay him millions for endorsements because his influence is unmatched. He has turned his popularity into a marketing machine, making him one of the highest paid athletes every year. But business for Ronaldo is not only about profit. He also invests in causes that matter to him. He donates millions to hospitals, children's charities, and disaster relief efforts. He has auctioned off personal items to raise money for those in need. The County Route 7 empire is built on success, but also on giving back. All of this has made Cristiano Ronaldo one of the wealthiest athletes in history. Forbes regularly ranks him among the highest-earning sportsmen, with annual earnings exceeding $100 million. He has built an empire that stands alongside the greatest athlete brands in history, names like Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, and David Beckham. Yet, what makes Ronaldo unique is that he is still hungry. Even as his business empire grows, he remains focused on football. He trains with the same intensity, plays with the same fire, and refuses to slow down. His ability to balance sport and business is part of what makes him extraordinary. The County Route 7 brand is now bigger than football. It represents style, success, health, and determination. It is the story of a boy from Madeira who turned not just into a legend on the pitch, but into a businessman who mastered the art of global influence. Cristiano Ronaldo is living proof that success can be built in every area of life, if you bring the same discipline, vision, and work ethic. Football made him famous. Business made him unstoppable. Together, they made him eternal. Cristiano Ronaldo's career is not just about moments of brilliance. It is about history. It is about rewriting the record books again and again. He is not only one of the greatest footballers of all time, he is one of the most decorated athletes in any sport. His journey has been filled with trophies, individual awards, and world records that will inspire generations to come. From the beginning, Ronaldo's career was built on ambition. He never settled for being good. He wanted to be the best. That desire led him to collect achievements at every stage of his journey. At Manchester United, Ronaldo transformed from a talented winger into a superstar. He won 3 consecutive Premier League titles, the FA Cup, 2 League Cups, and most importantly, the UEFA Champions League in 2008. That same year, he scored 42 goals in all competitions, leading United to glory and cementing his place among the world's best. At Real Madrid, Ronaldo reached another level. He became the club's all-time top scorer, with 450 goals in just 438 games. He won 4 Champions League titles with Madrid, including an incredible 3 in a row between 2016 and 2018. His goals, especially in knockout stages, made him the king of Europe. He also won La Liga, the Copa del Rey, and multiple FIFA Club World Cups. At Juventus, he continued his winning ways. He He won 2 Serie A titles, became the fastest player in the club's history to reach 50 goals, and finished as top scorer in the league. Even in a new country and a new league, Ronaldo proved that he could dominate anywhere. With Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, Ronaldo opened a new chapter. He became the face of football in the Middle East, bringing global attention to the league and continuing to score at a remarkable rate, even in the later stages of his career. For Portugal, Ronaldo became the greatest player in the nation's history. He is the all-time top scorer in international football, with more than 120 goals. He led Portugal to victory in the 2016 UEFA European Championship, their first major international trophy. In 2019, he added another title, winning the UEFA Nations League. His performances for Portugal made him a hero not just for his country, but for football fans everywhere. He proved that he could shine not only at club level but also on the biggest international stages. Cristiano Ronaldo has won the Ballon d'Or 5 times: 2008, 2013, 2014, 2016, 2017. He has finished in the top 3 more than a dozen times, showing his consistency over nearly 2 decades. He has won the FIFA Best Men's Player Award, the UEFA Best Player in Europe Award multiple times, and the Golden Boot as Europe's top scorer 4 times. In England, Spain, and Italy, he collected league MVP honors, proving that his excellence had no boundaries. All-time top scorer in the UEFA Champions League. All-time top scorer for Real Madrid. All-time top scorer in international football. First player to score in 5 different World Cups. First player to score 100 international goals. First player to win league titles in England, Spain, and Italy. Most appearances in Champions League history. Each record tells a story. A story of persistence, dedication, and greatness. For Cristiano Ronaldo, numbers are more than statistics. They are proof of his work. Proof of the hours of training, the sacrifices, and the discipline. But they are also reminders that his story is unique. Few players in history can match his records. Fewer still can claim to have dominated in so many countries, in so many competitions, for so many years. Awards and records are important, but they do not define everything about Ronaldo. What makes them special is the way he achieved them. With discipline, with resilience, with hunger. Every record he broke was a challenge. Every award he won was earned through sweat, sacrifice, and belief. And even as he continues to play, Ronaldo's name is already secure in football history. The numbers, the medals, the trophies, they are permanent. They will remain long after he retires. Cristiano Ronaldo's records and achievements are not just his personal triumph. They are a message to the world. A message that with hard work, discipline, and relentless desire, limits can be broken. History can be rewritten, and dreams can be achieved. Every great athlete leaves behind more than trophies. More than records. More than numbers on a sheet. They leave behind a story. A feeling. A legacy that shapes the way people see the sport forever. Cristiano Ronaldo's legacy is exactly that. It is bigger than football. It is the story of a boy from a small island who refused to be ordinary. Ronaldo's career is filled with shining moments. The headers that seemed to defy gravity. The free kicks that bent beyond science. The sprints that left defenders gasping for air. The celebrations that shook stadiums. These images will live in football forever. But his true legacy goes deeper. Cristiano Ronaldo will be remembered as the player who never stopped working. In a world where talent is praised, he showed that discipline and sacrifice are just as important. He turned himself into the best by treating every day like an opportunity to improve. Young players today watch him and realize that greatness is not just about gifts. It is about choices. His legacy is also about consistency. For more than 20 years, he performed at the very top. He broke records in England, in Spain, in Italy, in Portugal, and beyond. He proved that excellence is not tied to one club, one league, or one country. He carried his success everywhere he went. Ronaldo's legacy lives in his international career too. Leading Portugal to their first ever major trophy in 2016 changed his country forever. He gave a small nation hope. He showed that with belief and hard work, even the biggest dreams can come true. Every Portuguese child who kicks a ball today knows that anything is possible because Ronaldo showed them. Beyond the game, his influence stretches into culture, business, and even daily life. He became the most followed person in the world on social media. He became a global icon, recognized in every corner of the planet. But more than fame, his life is a lesson. A lesson in resilience. A lesson in rising from poverty, facing challenges, and turning them into strength. For fans, Ronaldo's legacy is emotional. He gave them unforgettable nights. He gave them pride. He gave them memories that will last forever. For many, watching him score was not just about football. It was about joy. It was about hope. It was about believing that greatness can exist in real life. For his rivals and teammates, Ronaldo's legacy is respect. Even those who argued about Messi versus Ronaldo know the truth. They know that both men gave football its greatest era. They know that without Ronaldo, the game would not be the same. His legacy also stretches into the future. Cristiano Jr., his son, is already learning from him. Whether he becomes a professional footballer or not, he is living proof that Ronaldo's influence continues. Countless young players, from Europe to Africa, from Asia to America, copy his training, his diet, his free kick stance, even his celebrations. The County Route 7 effect will live on for generations. And perhaps the most powerful part of Ronaldo's legacy is his message: never give up. No matter how small your beginnings are, no matter how many obstacles stand in your way, you can rise. Ronaldo is living proof that success is not reserved for the privileged. It is available to anyone who is willing to sacrifice, to work, and to believe. One day, Cristiano Ronaldo will retire. The stadiums will no longer echo with his name. The goals will stop. The cheers will fade. But the story will remain. The story of a boy from Madeira who became a legend. The story of a man who turned himself into one of the greatest athletes in history. That is the legacy of Cristiano Ronaldo. Legacy of greatness. Legacy of discipline. Legacy of inspiration. Legacy that will live forever. Cristiano Ronaldo's life is not only a story of football. It is a story of discipline, sacrifice, and determination. From a small island in Madeira to the biggest stadiums in the world, he showed that greatness is built, not given. He faced struggles. He faced doubts. He faced criticism. But every time, he responded with hard work, with resilience, and with belief in himself. The trophies, the records, and the awards tell one side of the story. They prove his excellence. But his true legacy is something greater. His true legacy is the message he leaves behind, that nothing is impossible if you are willing to fight for it. Cristiano Ronaldo is more than a footballer. He is an example. To the child practicing on the streets with a worn-out ball. To the athlete dreaming of success. To the person facing challenges in life. His story says, never give up. Never stop believing. Never stop working. The world will remember his goals. The world will remember his celebrations. The world will remember the rivalry with Messi. But more than that, the world will remember his mentality. The County Route 7 mentality. The mentality that transformed him from a boy with a dream into a legend who inspired millions. Cristiano Ronaldo's journey is complete, yet still unfinished. He continues to play, continues to score, and continues to lead. But even when the final whistle comes, his influence will not end. His name will remain in the history of football forever. His story will remain in the hearts of fans forever. And so, the story of Cristiano Ronaldo is more than just a sport. It is the story of believing in yourself when no one else does. It is the story of working harder than anyone else. It is the story of rising above every challenge. It is the story of a man who became a legend, and a legend who became eternal. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the life and legacy of Cristiano Ronaldo. We hope his story has inspired you, not only as a footballer but as a human being who never stopped chasing his dreams. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories of greatness, discipline, and inspiration. Your support helps us bring more content like this to life. Together, we can keep spreading motivation to millions of people around the world. Until next time, keep believing, keep working, and keep chasing your dreams. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate your time and support. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe so you never miss any of my future videos. Your support keeps me going and helps this channel grow. Once again, thank you, and see you in the next video.